Okay, the afternoon session did better than the AM session, and that happens a lot with Silver Bullet. If you doesn't do good in the morning, try the afternoon. And this morning was terrible, but this afternoon we had just did a bottom sweep of a price action, and it was ready to enter into the Silver Bullet moment. And the next area was this pivot up here, and it sure enough, right into the Silver Bullet moment, it just went right to that target up there. So I love the timing of that. All right, the Silver Bullet trade set up here in the PM session, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock Eastern Time, United States, New York City time zone. We're looking to go into this period here where the hour is waiting for us. Right here, this hour block right here from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. We're going to trade the Silver Bullet session. The problem with it is we don't really know which way price wants to go, except it did do a sweep down here of some lows, and the next area is up high. So I do think now we have a better chance of going long on this thing rather than, trying to short it or wait for a choppiness. See, it just went down and created this block. It created this breaker block with a fair value gap right here that's been tested and proven, support with pintails, and we're heading into the fair value gap hour. And I'm thinking I'm going to take a trade and let it just kind of pull back. I got to wait for it to pull back though. I can't just jump in this thing, and it may take off without me, which will be a bummer, but you got to be, patient with the strategy. And you can't just blindly take a trade. It's called FOMO, right? Now notice right here, though, this has been a resistance right here. So if it breaks over that 5-minute chart, let's take a look at the 5-minute chart on that. Yeah, here we go. If it closes up into that, stays strong. We're getting ready to enter into that period right now. The hourly chart's just choppy. Hourly chart's been hurting all day long. And now that this probably was the best setup area down here to take the trade, but I was waiting for lunch to finish and waiting for the 2 o'clock macro. Now this is 2 o'clock macro. See, there's a time period at 10 till and 10 after the hour that can be traded too. So I think what I'm going to do is incorporate 10 minutes before the hour as an open time to trade as well. If I had done that, I might be in this trade now. So live and learn. We'll be trying to do that tomorrow, and as soon as we trade the Silver Bullet again every day, hopefully, morning AM session and afternoon PM session. So right now it's just now beginning, and we're waiting for a trade setup. Let's go look at the 15-second chart to see if there's anything, and we're waiting patiently for that to give us. Well, there's a fair value gap right here on the 15-second chart. That was tested. Now, I don't know if it's going to make it up over the top. I'm going to give it a try here.
Order filled.
I'm going to put my stop below that fair value gap right there. And we'll see if it can go up and hit our target. Let's go back over to the 1-minute chart. Yeah, it looks like it wants to push up through there. Hopefully it'll keep going. That's a nice push into the bullet session. Silver Bullet session. At the very most, I want to get 1-to-1 on this. So I would think it's coming back up to this area right here, which, could be an order block to the downside. And that was where it really started selling off. Fair value gap, order block. So if it can get at least up to that point,
Order
I'm going to take
filled.
my profit on that. Yeah, I'm going to take my profit on that. Because it looks like a tough area once it gets up there. So I wonder what it would have worked if it works out for me or not. But I'm just glad to get something out of it. Let's enter. We entered there, and we exited there, and now it's pulling back, which is good. It's good. This is a 15-second chart. Now we entered on the 15-second chart because there was a clear fair value gap into the macro time period of entrance, which is 10 till. So 10 till at 150, starting at 150 here into that time period, we've seen a revving up, And in that revving up, it created a fair value gap test. So I jumped in for the momentum trade. Now I'm waiting for a more, durable and reliable trade. I don't want to just chase it now. That's kind of what I was doing. If I didn't have this fair value gap test right here and these kind of order block patterns, I wouldn't have just jumped in it if it was straight up candles like that. But because it tested and paused in this consolidation, I took my chance. And now it's hitting that area at the top right here where I'm wondering how far up it's going to go here. I really am. So let's just pause and see if any other setup takes place. Okay, well, this could be a nice setup here too. We got a little fair value gap here, I think, and yes, we do. And we have a test off the 8 EMA and a test off the pivot. I just wanted to pull back a little bit more. I wish I would have got in right here on this pivot right here, because there's a fair value gap, a 20 EMA, some pivots that look like order blocks. So if it comes back down into that area, I definitely will jump in it. It's almost there.
Order filled.
I'll give it a try with a stop loss very, very tight. Ooh, I don't want it to hit me. I want it to stay above that 20 EMA right there. Where it's,
Stop filled.
Okay, well, it got me. I got a little loss on that one. I really should have got it down here. Let's take an eye on. If I got in right here, it would have stopped me out too. How about that? Right here. So let's take a look. That's the 1 minute chart, because, the 15-second chart's chopping around here. I'm trying to figure out is it going to stay on top of this order block? Does that look like an order block to anybody? Look at the way that thing's bouncing right off of that thing. I'd like to be able to see what's going on here. Now it's hard to tell whether the red blocks are taking over the green blocks or whether the green blocks are taking over the red blocks. So it's hard to tell which order block to trust. Although it's bouncing off this area right here after a nice push up. And now it's acting really squirrely. So I don't trust this area now, because I can't tell which way's the stronger way. So I guess you know what? It does look like it's going that way now. So what happens? It did come back to the order block. It did come back to the fair value gap. I got in up here. If I would have gotten in right here, I would have gotten stopped out anyway. But then again, I would have let that go up, and I would have made money on that. I would not have left my stop loss down here underneath. I would not have. So if I would have entered in right here, let's take a look at how I like to trade these things. Okay, let's take a look at this real quick. I'm going to show you how I like to trade these. All right, we're going to take another trade. I'm going to leave my stop underneath here, but I'm going to show you how I like to trade these on that last setup situation. If I had my stop right here and I entered in anywhere in this area on that green block as it's bouncing up, okay, as the price continues to go all the way up to here, I take my stop and I put it on break even, and then I sort of follow it up and try to get something out of it, right? So that's how I like to do it. All right, and this one right here is going to be a longer stop, because I want it to go back up to, let's see, we're in a good time period for this thing to just ride right back up here. I'd like to see it take the sweep on this right up here. If it could hit the sweeps on this up here, that'd be great. Yes, right there on the top. So let's see if it goes up there. I got my stop in place already, and it's either going to go up. I might try to break even as soon as it gives me some room. So I'll let you know how. So we're in this trade here. We're hoping that it continues to go up, but it's going sideways, right? And you can tell in the higher time charts why it's taken so long. I mean, this has just always been a very difficult area. It's trying to push up, and get back up to these highs. This is where all the liquidity is waiting, right? It's just done a sweep right here. The problem is, and always will be, will it shake you out before hitting those targets? And that's always the case with the big question. It may simply be trying to get back up to the top up here. I think that's where we all think and know it's going to go. It just did a bottom sweep. All right. It knocked all those guys out. There's a bunch of shorts waiting up here with their stops, and that's where it wants to go. And the question is, when will it get there? Will it take me out of my trade first before it goes? And, it can definitely crash and come all the way back down. no doubt about it. But I think it really wants to go up here and hit these sweeps next. It's been hanging around here all day, and now the daily chart looks good because you know what? Price is holding in the upper portion of this big giant candle right here. That means it's still very, very, very ready to go up higher, I think. I could be wrong, but I mean, it can come down, fill that gap. Anything can happen. But the fact that it hasn't really tried to fill that gap yet it seems to be still very strong. So it's just taking its sweet little precious time going sideways right here. And I wish it would just go up and get it over with. Got my stops way down here on the pivot. We got our 1-to-1 target up there. And so we're waiting patiently. All right, I'm going to put my stop on break even here soon. 15-second chart. You know, it's trying to get up to this part right here, get through that right there. And if there it goes. Okay, now I can go on to break even, +1. Okay, so we're going to try to see if we can stay on break even and see how high this gets. In that case, I should bring my stop up a little, my target up a little higher, because I think it's going to sweep up higher. It could just sweep this right here only, you know, and stay sideways. In which I should take my profits, right? Because now I'm just on break even. So I hope it keeps going, but you know, should I really leave it on break even, or should I just take my profits, right? And it looks like it's pushed up past these pivots here. Well, we don't know. The candle's not closed yet, but the only other next place to go is up here. So that is the target, I think. That is the target. I just hope it doesn't stop me out first. So that is the target right there and right there. So I'm going to hold, and if it stops me out for break even, it stops me out for break even. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep moving here. I'm going to put my stop up a little higher now. Hopefully that momentum's nice and strong. Hopefully it'll keep going. I want it to hit my target. My target is right up here near this pivot. It's not too high into the pivot, but it's high enough to where it should get a good profit on that. Okay, it should get a good profit on that. And I'm just going to wait patiently to see if it hits that target, because I've got my stop in the green already. In fact, I'm going to put my stop right here underneath this pintail here. That way,
target filled.
It hit my target. All right. Fantastic. I love silver bullets. I do. Well, the first trade didn't work out too well here. Well, this one actually did. The first one did. The second one was a small stop out. And the third one was kind of a home run for me. And so there you go. The silver bullet session PM is looking good. All right, so I'm going to be happy with that. Wow, look at that. It almost, and it still might, hit that cotton picking target all the way up there that I didn't put it up that high, but it did almost hit that. I wonder if it's going to complete that. All right, we're in our second trade here. It stopped me out on the trend line break, but I got back in when it looked better. And I'm break even right now. I'll show you what I tried to do. I tried to get this trend line break right here, because I believed it was going to go up over the top of that. I'm going to trail my stop here a little bit. And it stopped me out. It just, you could see it whip back down past there. Once I put in these pintails right here, I looked on the 5-minute chart. I'm like, okay, it looks like it wants to test this fair value gap right here, this fair value gap. This is not that much resistance in light of the bigger picture, which is on the hourly chart. These highs right here is what it really wants. Okay, that's what it really wants. So I shouldn't be afraid of it getting stuck on this part right here. Okay, I just don't want it to whip me out before it gets there. You see, so I'm still on it. I'm still holding it. I'm going to let it come up and get me on that. Where are we at? Where is our? So yeah, I've got my stop a little closer to these pivots up here this time. And we'll see if it goes all the way up. You know, that'd be great if it did. I don't want to get stopped out, but at least I'm green right now. And this is a good place to be. You know, it's definitely going to win something. So either I'm going to trail my stop or I'm going to let it hit me. So what we got here, let's see where we're at. I really want to see where we're at on this. If I think it's going to get up there, I don't want to get greedy, but I'm just going to put it a little bit higher. If it wants to go right up here, it's going to get me right there. We'll see. I don't want to get greedy. I don't want to get greedy. We're already profitable. It could just come back and stop me out if it wants to. You know, there's a fair value gap right there. It'll have to close down below. It's bouncing off the high of something. So it looks like it could hold up right here. If it does, I'll put my stop up a little bit higher. But regardless, you know, we did something on this, and hopefully it'll keep going up. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my stop underneath this pivot. And we're practically there now anyway, but that's where it's going. And it looks like it wants to turn around right there, so we're going to put our stop right underneath that. And hopefully it'll keep going straight up to the next stop. You know, it's so tempting to just take the profits and run, but if I don't ever get used to holding it, then I'm never going to get better. So I'm just going to move my stop up a little bit closer underneath this move right here up, and hopefully it'll hit that target up there. I'm just trying to lock in as much profit as I can, because if it decides to come down, then I got a lot to work on. One of them is being patient, keeping my stop in the right place, letting my target get hit. You can see here on the 5-minute chart what it's battling to get up to, these pivots and pintails and this selling area up here, but that's where it wants to go. There's a lot of stops up there. We're talking about algorithm moving, and if it's got enough buy orders from accumulating down here, if it's got enough buy orders after whipping that out right there, then it's going to go all the way up there. It really will. But the question is, will I be able to stay in the trade, or will it whip me out first? And hopefully there's a lot of momentum on this thing that it can just go right up to that and stop me out for a profit up there.
Target filled.
Yes, the target was filled. That's exciting. Very exciting. I'm glad that happened to me. I'm just now starting to get really, really used to this trading style and time, and I am liking what I'm seeing. All right, we'll see you on the next video. I'm not going to take any more trades. I'm just not going to. I'm happy with the trades that I took today in this hour. It's not over yet. There's nothing that says I got to finish this out, and it's mandatory that I take more trades. But I mean, these two big wins right here, I think I'm going to be happy with that. And that's another thing I think novice traders don't respect, is that take your wins when you have them, and don't overstay your welcome. Sometimes that's important. Now, surely it could come down here and hit this fair value gap again and go right back up. I know, but you know, I don't want to take my chances. I'm very happy with these two wins, and that's going to be it for the Silver Bullet trade today. We'll see you tomorrow.